Hi, I'm Alan Ross. We're here at the RE Plus Conference and Exposition. We're talking to thought leaders about the future of the energy economy. So join us and enjoy. Our guest is Chris Pennington. He is the Director of Energy and Sustainability with Iron Mountain Data Center. Is that right?
That's right.
Got it right.
Nice to be here
Nailed
with you.
it the first time.
Thank you. Well done.
So Iron Mountain, we all think of them as trucks that run around and pick up our paper that we don't want crooks to grab and do something with,
You're
right?
absolutely right.
Iron Mountain Data Centers are colos that you've got a lot of, but talk a little bit about why you're here at a show like this on renewable energy when you have nothing to do with renewable energy.
Well, yeah, as a data center operator, we're a large energy buyer, so
Right.
renewable energy is clearly of interest to us. Now, our data center business kind of sits within this bigger Iron Mountain envelope, which
Right.
is 70 years old company, so it's quite a history. Ever since the origin of our data center business, we knew that renewable power was going to be necessary from a business standpoint going forward, because ultimately, our role as a co-location provider is to provide a secure facility with robust power systems and rich connectivity to the internet, and then our customers lease space within that environment. It's a very efficient way for them to scale up these critical environments. But in this model, we are their energy supply chain. We're providing power to the building and then distributing it from there.
Right.
So we need to provide them with the power that they would choose to buy on their own. And as more and more companies adopt clean energy goals, we're this critical piece of their energy supply chain for a piece of their footprint that sits outside of their corporate footprint. So this is why energy is important to us, and renewable energy in particular.
And one of the things that, as I looked up your background, was decarbonization. That's one of the goals of Iron Mountain DCs is to help with decarbonization.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to do it alone. Talk a little bit about that. How does Iron Mountain Data Center get involved in decarb?
So there's two fundamental reasons that are really pushing our focus on decarbonizing our footprint. The first of which is we recognize that as energy provider to the customers inside our facility, we want to provide them the power they would choose to buy on their own. And more so, that's carbon-free energy. Secondly, and I think what's happening right now in Europe with the war in Ukraine is illustrating this need for energy security.
Yeah.
So the more that we can decouple ourselves from this volatile market of fossil fuels, the more that we can really pave the path towards a long-term, stable, resilient power supply. Now, we're not there yet, right? We can't meet all of our needs around the clock with renewable or carbon-free resources in an affordable way. But last year, we set a goal to be 24/7 hourly match with carbon-free energy, just like other large hyperscale customers have done. And we're going to get there by the year 2040. So we need to start that path today, looking at every clean energy contract we form and saying, where is the power coming from? How well is it matched up with how we're consuming energy? And is it helping me towards hitting that around-the-clock 24/7 carbon-free energy goal that we have?
So you're not really doing it, you're forcing the companies that provide energy to you, you're forcing them to be more green, to use renewables. Here's something that you get that data centers hate. You get power quality issues when you're using DER. Wind and solar creates transients. Those transients are growing.
Yeah.
Sometimes, many times, they get passed on depending upon how close you are to the source of that power. How do you all deal with power quality issues?
So as a large energy buyer, we're sending the demand signal out to the marketplace. And that demand signal is very strong, saying we want to buy carbon-free energy. We want it to meet our needs every hour of every day of the year. Now, what you spoke about is really a technology challenge that can be solved ultimately through energy storage and just kind of better grid management. And so we view that as a technology answer that's coming that we want to include in that demand signal that we're sending. We're interested in battery technology, that's why we're here today.
Yeah.
We're interested in geothermal technology and solar and wind and all these sources. And we believe that the technology issue with intermittent power is one that can easily be solved over time. It's maybe not here today for the right price, but it'll be here in the future.
Yeah, we interviewed earlier someone that is involved in vanadium flow batteries, which 10 years ago I heard about flow batteries and they said, oh, it'll take forever.
Yeah.
They're now, and they're utility scale storage, which is sustainable.
Yeah.
Vanadium is as abundant is copper. So it's not like lithium, right, where we try to, and they don't burn. They just sit there in these gigantic tanks. But the whole concept of battery storage is changing how all of those people who make green energy provide green energy to you. You mentioned something about battery storage as it relates to the DC.
Yeah.
What's going on at the data center? Because you guys were triple redundancy. I used to, because I'm a reliability guy, right? And
Sure.
I'd say, hey, 5.9 reliability is not because you have 3 generators. Okay? Take one of the generators out, you no longer have 5.9 reliability. And that's what you guys sell to all of your clients, right?
We sell reliability.
You sell reliability. You sell resilience? I'll come back to that. Think of that. There's different reliability. Talk about battery and storage. What impact do they have on you? What impact do you have on them?
So I think that this is part of this whole decarbonization journey that we're on, especially with our commitment to 24/7 carbon-free energy for our data centers. We need to think about how our facilities can be modified to act as a resource on the grid. We have energy storage on our facilities today in the form of our UPS systems.
Right.
Now, how can that architecture be evolved and expanded to where we're not just using them for our own needs, but we can actually use these as benefits back to the grid? And that's important for a number of reasons, and I think there's a model that's building that actually makes that financially very attractive today, especially some markets where we can mitigate some grid fees by being able to contribute back to the grid at certain times of the day.
Yeah.
So that's already starting to kind of coalesce, but I think more and more so as we think about our role as an industry and our need to continue to expand, one of the goals that we have is to represent how we can be a positive influence in the community.
Yeah.
So data centers are knocking down space every single day and expanding, very quickly, and that's really to help deliver all the content and services that all of us are looking for on a day-to-day basis very quickly. But when we move into a new market, we want to be viewed as a positive feature to that community. And I think one of the ways that we can do that is by coming in and possibly making renewable power more accessible or making their grid more reliable. These are, ambitious goals today, but I think that's the direction that we're steering towards.
So I want to hit on this resiliency thing.
Okay.
Because reliability is that a system, a function, an asset operates as it was designed for as long as it was designed without interruption.
Yeah.
Resiliency is when the storm hits, you got to come back up as quickly as you can. Mm-hmm. What are you all doing about the demand of the power for resiliency? What are you doing on that stage?
Our architecture is typical across all the data center platforms. Redundant with backup on-site power generation, typically from diesel backup power, and then on-site energy storage to kind of bridge that gap in order to give us that resiliency that we need to stay up. 100% uptime is our commitment. So that architecture is old and proven, and very carbon intensive, and so it's not where it needs to be. I think. Fundamentally, as data centers expand and as technology becomes more sophisticated, one of the pathways towards decarbonizing that is to think about redundant data centers, the ability to have duplicate platforms across different sites. Maybe not every single data center needs to have all of their load matched with diesel power generation. That might be one path forward.
Right.
I think as an industry, we're really interested in how we solve this last mile of decarbonizing, which is for us the diesel backup power generation.
I'd love
plants.
to think we're on the last mile, but I think we have many miles to go before we get there, because there's that, as we increase our renewables, the decrease in carbon-based fuels.
Yep.
But it's not like this. It is doing like this, and I think it's very important that we. Sometimes I think we pile on the oil companies and the coal companies a little too much, because they've built it so that we can now throw them out, because the sun will continue to shine and the wind will continue to blow. I think it's fascinating because you're dealing on the demand side. You're saying to the suppliers, hey, we demand not just power, we demand a certain kind of power. That's brilliant. I think that's going to be much more effective than me screaming that I think you should decarbonize as an individual consumer. I think that's brilliant, because data centers are definitely consuming a lot of power.
We are indeed, and in fact, the utilities play an active role in helping us with this decarbonization journey, and they've been built with the sole purpose to deliver reliable, low-cost power.
Right.
And what we're asking for now is do that and make it carbon-free. and so that's going to take.
That's easy to do, right?
That's the easy part, right? No, so it's a challenge.
Yeah.
But so I think a lot of corporates, in order to accelerate decarbonizing their own footprint, have gone off and signed renewable power contracts with offsite projects, and we've done this as well in order to gain the certificates that we need to claim renewable power. That's going around the utility to some degree because we need to go quickly. As the old saying goes, if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go together. And so what we're doing right now is working with our utility providers to say, let's work together to develop the products that not only meet our needs, but now make clean energy more accessible to all the other corporates out there who may not have the scale that we have.
Okay, I picked up a lot of little things. This is going to be yours. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That's brilliant. All right.
I didn't make that phrase, by the way.
You stole it from somebody. I'm stealing it from you because
Okay.
the next time it's written, I will write it.
Okay.
Okay, but that's excellent. One last question. Is Iron Mountain unique and alone in this? Because I know a lot of data center organizations. I know CBRE has a whole data center management for other companies. Raging Wire, which is now called something else, are colos. Are you all unique in going alone at this in the data center world, or is this kind of unique for the data center industry as a whole?
I think the data center industry as a whole is very focused on our carbon footprint as an industry, and progressively looking for ways to drive best practices. So that starts with everything from energy efficiency and aligning around a core set of how to operate efficiently, to now, most recently, the iMasons organization has set up the Climate Accord to really focus on tracking how much carbon goes into compute and storage within inside data centers.
Wow.
So we're very focused on it as an industry. We think that we're best positioned to solve this. And I think collectively we're very motivated to get there as quickly as we can. So I think we're definitely not alone.
Well, but you said quickly as we can, but you want to go together. So you'll go far and you'll do it fast.
That's
All
the
right.
idea.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Alan.
enjoying
Thank
it.
you. Nice to meet you.
So all of these interviews that we have conducted have been sponsored by the people behind me. The first one is the Grid Edge Conference and Exposition, which takes place in April 2023 in San Diego. The IEEE PES Grid Edge Conference and Exposition has been a long time in the making. This will be our first one, and it will be a delight. I can already tell you that we've had more papers, more panelists than we could possibly hold, and the conference itself is going to be brilliant. The second organization sponsoring us is H2Scan. H2Scan is ubiquitous in the transformer industry as the best. It's kind of like Intel, it's inside. H2Scan is a hydrogen sensing technology that is patented, that has been around for the last 20 years. It really came on strong as transformer hydrogen became a problem. DGA recognized by IEEE, and I just thank the people at H2Scan. They are also in electrolyzers, fuel cells, battery storage, but hydrogen safety is incredibly important. They're in refining, in processing, so H2Scan, thank you. Lastly, RE+. We are at the Renewable Energy Plus Conference and Exposition, and as we close this one out, I want to thank them for allowing us to conduct these interviews here, for allowing us to be part of their incredible conference. It's been enormous. There have been 27,000 people that have attended this conference, and you can tell the energy, the excitement that's taking place within the renewables industry, so thank you, RE+. It's been a delight to do these interviews, and I hope you've enjoyed them.